Now, did Nimrod found the city of Babel, which we now call Babylon, in the sense that it was he who planted a stake in the ground and said, okay, let's build it here? Probably not. He likely took over rulership at some point in a city's early development, pretty common practice. And he just took it to another level. And in time, Babel became a huge city with the smallest estimates being a mile square inside of its walls, and larger estimates at almost 5 times that size. And of course, there's that tower, the Tower of Babel. Now, technically, the tower was a ziggurat, kind of a step pyramid. Several ancient ziggurats have been discovered in modern-day Iran and Iraq. And this particular ziggurat was built for 2 stated purposes. A, to reach up to heaven so that they could make a name for themselves. And B, to make sure that they weren't scattered. Bottom line, rebellion on an enormous scale. And as we saw in the last couple of weeks, the word Shem means name. And the word Shem is used here when it refers to Nimrod's followers who want to make a name for themselves. But recall that the word name isn't referring to like Bob or Elizabeth or Fred. This Hebrew word Shem would be better translated as reputation, because it carries with it this sense of power and authority. For instance, Nimrod means mighty hunter. Mighty hunter was his reputation. So they built a tower up to the heavens to make a reputation of having power and authority in themselves. And the reason they wanted that reputation was to show God they were not going to bow down to him. They were not going to be obedient to him. They were not going to scatter, as it was fully understood they were supposed to do. Further, anyone planning to be a dictator, as was Nimrod, has to demonstrate that he is all-powerful so the people will submit to him. That was very much a part of what Nimrod was doing. Now, it's apparent from the wording that even from the days of Noah, humanity was to scatter, to disperse, to repopulate the whole world. Those were God's instructions. Those orders hadn't been lost or forgotten. They were just ignored. But now, at Nimrod's leadership, they set out to openly defy God's orders to disperse, as it says in verse 4. They built that tower so that we not be scattered over all the earth. The idea in these early Babylonian brains was this: God lives in heaven, no big deal. We humans, with our wonderful intelligence, we can invent a way to build a tower right up to heaven so that we can live up there too if we wish. And when we get there, we're going to tell God we like all the power and knowledge and wealth and comforts we've attained by staying together, by not scattering. And that's just the way we're going to keep it. And you know what, God? There's not a thing you can do about it. And by the way, when everybody hears about us, we'll really make a reputation for ourselves, and nobody would ever want to come against us. In fact, they'll all want to join us. I mean, is this far from where we stand today as humankind? Isn't man currently saying, God, your ways are old and obsolete? We've amassed such superior knowledge that we can not only solve our own problems, we can do it better than you can. In fact, you and those backwards people who stay stuck to you and your ways are just a hindrance to where mankind needs to go. We don't need your help. We don't need your direction. We don't need your silly, outdated moral directives. We can make our own as we need them, relevant for each situation. Life, heck, we can produce life. We can manufacture it to our specifications. Marriage, only between a male and a female, great for times long past, not for us. What Nimrod did is nothing different from what our secular humanistic culture is leading us to do today. Rebellion, pure and simple.